She is an incredible woman that I've gotten to know pretty well, her and her husband, over the last few months. We've been working together, getting to know each other. She went Blue Diamond not too long ago. She has an amazing online social following. A lot of you probably have seen her YouTube videos or posts that she's done. One of the best speakers I've heard. We have such an amazing lineup for you guys tonight. So I'm super excited for you guys to hear from Lisa. So please give a huge round of applause to Blue Diamond for this evening.
So thank you, Austin. So I had all these wonderful things planned I wanted to say, and then Austin inspired me for a bunch more. So I start going over, wave your hands in the air like you don't care. All right, I'm Lisa Zimmer. First of all, would you grab me a water bottle there? I had a super salty lunch, so you can enjoy them. All right, I'm Lisa Zimmer. I'm a doTERRA Blue Diamond, and all that means to you is I love to help lots and lots of people learn about essential oils and doTERRA products so that I can change their life and I can grow them into a sharer and a builder so they can change the lives of many, many, many more people. So why do I do it? Today, you're going to learn later on in the presentation how to develop your why. And I have a why that makes me cry. So that leads me to my story and how I got started with doTERRA. Back in 2011, I was feeling under the weather in the fall. And I took a prescription medication for it, prescription antibiotic. And within 5 days, 5 pills, I was completely disabled with brain damage in a wheelchair and unable to move my legs. Wow. 5 pills, 5 days. I want to invite you to go on this journey with me. Because if someone hadn't handed me a catalog about doTERRA products and invited me to buy, I'm going to talk about inviting people to classrooms, inviting to sample. But if she hadn't invited me to buy, I wouldn't be standing here today because I couldn't have gone to a class. She was brave and shared that catalog. I went home, I called the lady on the catalog. It wasn't even her. My friend that gave me the catalog didn't even use doTERRA. I'm goosebumps because now I'm seeing you all like, you have to give everyone you know something from you about doTERRA to hand out to all your friends and family, whether they do doTERRA or not. She turned us into a Blue Diamond team, wasn't even in doTERRA, right? So I ordered those oils from a stranger, and when I called her on the phone, what'd she do? She invited me to buy. She didn't invite me to a class later, because I needed help now. She didn't invite me to come pick up a sample, because I couldn't drive a car. She said, great, this is the price for your digestin and DDR. Sound good? Yep. So the next time you're trying to memorize a complicated script about doTERRA, ask them, would you like to go ahead and order that? Invite them to order. You could change their life. So I got my oils. Better in 3 months. 3 years I suffered, over 1,000 days. I used digestin on the bottoms of my feet and I started digesting food, which I hadn't done in almost 3 years. 3 days. I won't give you the details of that story of food digestion. You're all intelligent here, you can figure it out, right? All right, so then I started using DDR Prime on the bottoms of my feet. And within 3 months, I was able to go back to work. I went from not being able to think for myself to being able to go back to work. No brain fog, clear thinking, right? Yay! Right? This is the stuff you want to know, right? Because I want to inspire you today. I want you to be able to leave here and be so inspired of what you really can do with your oils for all these people that you meet. They're hiding from you what's really going on with them, right? We didn't tell a lot of people. I wasn't all over social media saying, woo, my arms and legs don't work today. Yeehaw, let's go, right? No, a lot of people didn't know. They just knew all of a sudden I was 90 pounds, gray, looked like I was dying, and everybody ran the other way. Right? I needed a solution. I got a solution nice and fast because someone invited me to order their products and change lives. Right? So what do we do after that? Right? So I got so excited about these products, I said, I'm not going back to real estate. That's no fun. I am going to put on a purple cape and I'm going to fix the world. Right? I knew nothing. I knew how to make rollerballs. All right, and so what I loved about what Austin said was, do this business your way. I have analytical in my top strengths and strategy, right? So I'm a problem solver, and I didn't understand the business model because I had some brain damage still a little bit, right? I just didn't understand it. It wasn't explained in a way that I was grasping. So I sold rollerballs, and I invited everyone I knew to buy a rollerball. Don't do that. Delayed my process to silver by 3 months, right? I hit silver in 4 months, and I spent 3 of those months selling rollerballs, folks, so just don't do it, right? It took me that last month, all of a sudden I understand the words, invite people to get the product and get it into their home and make them empowered and self-sufficient, so you didn't have to be a revolving door of selling rollerballs, right? So then I learned it was time to invite them into LRP. I had a hard time getting people on LRP because I had a mental block with, I don't want to be pushy, I don't want to be a salesperson. I was okay inviting every Tom, Dick, and Harry to come see me, one-on-one class. I sent out a mass email to my entire Gmail contacts. You know who's in there? Nordstroms, more Nordstroms, Zappos, right? So I wasn't afraid to invite anyone. I wanted to break down those walls of fear you have of inviting anyone and everyone, right? But what I was afraid to do is invite them to LRP, because that was, in my mind, an obligation. But what I was really doing was denying them the opportunity to get my product for a better price, get into my lifestyle. I was denying them the opportunity to get to 10 to 30% rewards, right? I denied them for 3 months, 30%. That's wrong. Don't do it. Then I denied them the sharing opportunity because I didn't want to be pushy with my friends. Okay, well, except the friends in the front row. What they say to you at Chipotle, right? I invited them to join me in the business. I said, okay, guys, I haven't figured this out yet, but we're totally going to do this. Put in your social, spend 100, and we're going to figure this out. You can say that with your friends, so say that with your friends. Invite them into the business, right? So my strength, right, I have a great strength in inviting because my story helps me tell everyone about doTERRA. But not everyone has a story like mine, so let's write yours, all right? You'd be surprised to know after 5 years in this business, I honestly rarely tell my story now. Because you know what's more important than my story when I'm talking to someone about oils? You just gave me goosebumps. All right? So I want to teach you how to find the words. My strength is finding words to help people do what we need them to do. Not because I want to make a paycheck, not because I want to make a sale, but because if I can't help them get the product, if I can't help change their life, then what's the point of doing this? That's what I'm here for. I'm on a mission to get these oils in every single home so that no one ever has to go through what my family went through. I lost 3 years of memories with my son. How many of you here are parents? Raise your hand. Imagine that. You have the power in your words, in your ability to invite, to keep that from happening to anyone else. So we're gonna learn how to open our mouth and have the words that we like come out today. All right. We're going to hear from Betty Torres here. She's going to tell us about our story. We're going to help you write your story today. We're going to help you write your long story, right? For me, 60 to 90 seconds is a long story. I'm a goldfish. Anybody know what I mean by that? 9-second attention span, folks. So if you can't tell me your story in 9 seconds, I'm out. So I'm going to teach you how to do the 9-second version and enroll someone in 60 seconds. And I'm going to teach you how to do your long story, which is for your nice, pretty, formal classes. But you're not going to be in a nice, pretty, formal class everywhere you go. So I want to prepare you with the words to use so that when you're in an Uber, you know what to say and you can enroll him or her. When you're checking in at the hotel, you can help the person checking you in enroll in doTERRA. Might not be in a class.
I have been a big believer in natural solutions for over 20 years. When my friend told me about doTERRA, I was very skeptical because I didn't know anything about essential oils. I asked her if they had nutritional supplements and digestive products. When she said yes, I did my due diligence and decided to get started. I started with the Natural Solutions Kit because it's such a great value. The first products I started with were the nutritional supplements, the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and the PB Assist Plus probiotics and the TerraZyme digestive enzymes. Within just a few days, I noticed amazing changes. I noticed increased brain power, and I also noticed an increase in my energy and stamina levels. I felt more energized than I had felt in many, many years. That then prompted me to learn more about the other products I had ordered and to look through the product guide. I was very pleasantly surprised to see all the different categories of products, from skincare to spa care to home care. I decided to transfer my buying. What I was buying from the department stores and the grocery store, I was now going to buy from doTERRA because I could buy at wholesale, and through the loyalty program, I could earn free product points and get whatever products I wanted for free. Shortly after I started with doTERRA, I had started sharing my results with some friends. They also got started using the products and noticed the same thing and started sharing with other people. Now, 8 years later, my organization numbers in the tens of thousands of people, and I have been able to replace my college teaching income many times over again. Saying yes to doTERRA has allowed me to live my best life by sharing something that I am very passionate about.
All right, so we're going to work on mimicking. For me, right, that's the long story, 60 to 90 seconds. So I want you to grab your workbook, right, and you're going to turn to the first white page, share your story. So I had to watch that video a couple times, right? It was probably the second or third time I saw it before it registered with me. What a great sales presentation that video was. Did everybody pick up on that? How she touched on every part of our business, and she was selling every part of our business without selling every part of our business, right? That's our job. You don't have to be a salesperson. I don't sell, I just tell. I tell people what I need them to know, and they choose to join this lifestyle with me because of it, right? So also, facts tell, and stories sell. When people use facts, they only retain 5 to 10% of that information. If you tell a story about your oils experience, how you got stuff free, they're going to retain 65 to 70% of that when you tell a story. All right, so let's dig into our story. You want to work on what wasn't working for you, how long had it been going on, what problems were created as a result, all right? So we're going to grab a pen and paper, and we're going to have you work with a partner. Here's the uncomfortable part, right? I want you to find someone you don't know, right? All right, so we're going to take a couple minutes, and we're going to break up, and you're going to work on sharing your story. Use this as a guide, right? And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just start brainstorming. You're going to learn one of my new tricks to the trade, and one of my new tricks to the trade is anytime I want someone to do what I want, I offer them free stuff. writing your own story. This is not something where you're going to leave here today and have it mastered. My story changes every day. Every time I tell it, it's a little different, right? And so, because I learn new skills, I learn different things that are important to other people. So your story won't be perfect today, but I'd love to have someone volunteer, and you get something free, to come up and share their story and share the most important parts and pick maybe 5 sentences to share your story. Who feels like they can do that today? Raise your hand high. It's not you, Mr. Yeah, right front row.
You tried.
Hi, what's your name?
Kelly.
Kelly, nice to meet you, Kelly. I'm Zimmer. Hi. You see me? All right, so Kelly, will you go ahead and start sharing your story with us? Introduce yourself to them and take it away.
I'm Kelly, and 3 years ago, yes. 3 years ago, I was working, and this gal, Julie, was sitting in my chair. I'm a hairstylist, and I don't even remember what I said, but she said, take these samples and come to my house. I'm having a class, and I said, okay. And I called my sister, and I said, come with me. And we went, and while she was talking, she said, here, put this on anything that ails you, deep blue. And so I put it on my neck and my shoulder, and I had just been done working that day, and my arm was like this because I had a torn rotator cuff. And so I put this on, and I'm like, where do I sign? Unfortunately, she only told me to get the $250 kit. Sure, you know, so, you know, that was 3 years ago. A year after that, I know you. A year after that, I turned vegan. A year after that, I started intermittent fasting. I'm in a size 12. I have not been a size 12 since my daughter was born. She's 34 years old. Wow.
And doTERRA.
Yeah, not with an oil. How's that?
There you go. Nice job. So see how she was able to do that short and sweet. She pointed out how she found out about it, what products she used, and some amazing things that came out of her life, right? That's what we want to teach you how to do. You can do a longer presentation in your classes, but still make sure that you're only sticking to 60 to 90 seconds, because this is a new world of goldfish. And we want an Amazon YouTube experience, right? So we taught 2-hour classes, and I learned, after 2 years of building the hard way, that honestly, people really do want an Amazon YouTube experience. So how do they get that, right? People are going to show interest in your products right away. Not all the time. We use the invitation to sample, and we use the invitation to the class when we didn't succeed the first try with our invitation to buy.
Say that again.
We use the invitation to sample, and we use the invitation to our class when I didn't succeed on my first try, which was to get you to buy. Why is that important to me, to get you to buy? What's going to happen when I get you to buy? I'm going to change your life. So if I'm standing in front of you and I'm hearing about digestion and I'm overhearing something, right? Or seeing something on social media and I say, that sounds interesting, tell me more about that. I just gave you a buying signal. I just gave you a neon sign that said, I want to buy your product, are you paying attention? What happens when you reply with, I want to send you can I send you a sample? They're running into me the next day and I'm closing them and changing their life, right? So you want to invite them to buy first. So awesome, Anita, I'd love to tell you about that Digest Zen. Whether this is in person, social media, text, doesn't matter. I'd love to tell you about that. I want to hear more about you. It's great for this, but I want to hear what you have going on so that maybe that bottle of oil that I help you get can help all kinds of things. So it's a better value for you. Anita, tell me what you got going on. Do you have trouble with sleep? Digestive, obviously. Do you have children that could use some help sleeping? Calming them down if they're having a bad day? Trouble with aches and discomforts? Hormones? Tell me what you got going on. And then you close your mouth and you open your ears. It's not your time to tell your story, it's their time to tell you theirs. She's going to tell you yours, you're going to write it down fast and furious with a pen and pencil, and you're going to say, oh my gosh, I can totally help you with that, I'm so excited, Anita, I'm going to change your life. Not only am I going to help you get what's going to help with your digestive, but I'm going to help you get the oils for Johnny and Susie, and they're going to sleep better tonight. I'm going to help you with your husband, Daniel, and his aches and discomforts are going to be better. And it's so simple, Anita. I'm going to help you, right? I invited to buy first, right? I think it's Dana's going to talk later about in-depth of enrolling, right? But we still need to try this first. Don't delay the process. Anita, awesome. I can totally help you with that. We have a great starter kit. We can help you get all the oils for that. Plus, they're going to make over your entire medicine cabinet naturally. How does that sound?
Fabulous.
Sounds fabulous. Great. It's so simple. We have a starter kit for $150 and a bigger starter kit that's 3 times the oils, less than twice the price, for $275. Which one are you most comfortable with, hon?
$275 sounds good.
Which one are you most comfortable with? Right? We're going to use that either or. See, I gave her an either or close. I gave her 2 choices because a confused mind can't decide. We're going to carry that on through the other invitation processes. Do you know how many people call me on the telephone and say, I've heard about these oils, tell me about that. I would like a bottle of Breathe. I saw it on the internet and it sounds good. Do you know how many people I'm able to enroll on the phone in 60 seconds or less using that invitation to join my world? Take a wild guess. 100%, because they already decided they wanted to buy the product or they wouldn't have opened their mouth or picked up the phone to call me. How many people do you go out of your way to call if you don't actually want to get what they're selling? It's not because you're bored. Who has time for that, right? Now, granted, if I meet a stranger, maybe not that great an enrollment rate. But I planted a seed, and now what, right? If I'm talking to a stranger and it's not happening, what do? Invite to sample them, and invite them to a class. When I enroll Anita, right? When I enroll Anita, I'm inviting her to a class. They're still getting invited to a class, and they're still getting invited to try my oils at my class, right? But why would I have someone standing in front of me or through the internet say, I want to buy your product or I want to hear more about that if they weren't really interested? And say, awesome, can I send you a sample? No, I don't want a sample, I want to buy your product. That's why I'm asking you about it, right? Don't delay my ability to change my life. Right. You're all going to have a different way of inviting and you're all going to put your own spin on it. But what's important is that you get comfortable asking. All right, so you want to get comfortable asking. Oh, I forgot to give you your free oil, darling. Yay, you're welcome. All right. What the person on the end of the line or on the other side of the story wants to hear from you at all times is not what's in it for you, but they want to hear what's in it for them. So when you're talking, make sure you're only talking about what's in it for them, all right? So I want to flip to the next page in your workbook, right? And I want you to be sure to check out page 3. Page 3 You want to work on your invitation for class. You want to work on helping people say yes. And we want to work on inviting to a one-on-one. So these are tools that you can practice at home, all right? Hey, Susie Q, would you like a sample of Deep Blue for that aching shoulder that you have? If I give this to you, do you promise to use it? Can I give you a call tomorrow or text you tomorrow? Go ahead and put your information in my phone. Jen Yates tip. Right? Go ahead and put your information in my phone and I'll check in with you tomorrow and see how that's going. And then what am I going to do when I talk to her? Invite her to buy, right? Invite her to buy, all right? So that's your sampling. Same thing with the class, right? Even if I didn't succeed in the 60-second enrollment, she says, no, I just wanted some more information. Awesome. Always have a class on your calendar to invite someone to. You don't know when that phone's going to ring. You don't know when you're going to get the opportunity to invite someone to a class when you're out buying groceries. So you better have a class scheduled on the books so that you can invite them to class. Awesome. We don't have a chance to chat right now because we're just checking out with our groceries. But Anita, I'd love to give you my card here and invite you to my class on such and such a date. Right? It's that simple to invite someone to a class. Work on your one-on-ones. People are not going to show up to a class. You always want to make sure that you have multiple classes on the books. Why is that? When you get ready to launch or relaunch your business, we tell you to schedule 4 classes. People know why that is? Mr. Zimmer.
If they're unavailable on Tuesday, great, what you got going on Thursday?
So
what you got going on this weekend?
Overcome their objections. I love objections. Who hates it when people object to what you want them to do? I love it. Because I'm a problem solver and I get excited. Awesome, Anita, no problem you can't make it Tuesday, because guess what? You're coming Thursday. Oh, but the kids have, I can only do weekends. I have one Saturday and Sunday. Which one's better for you? Either or. You want to come to this one or you want to come to that one? A confused mind can't decide, so I just made it easy. I made it 2. Help them say yes. I skipped through a couple slides there. All right, so give me just a second. I want to give one more bottle of wild orange away here. I want to do that by inviting someone to come up and share their story on how they like to invite people to a class. Who feels comfortable winning free stuff and coming up and sharing their words, right? Now remember, you're in line at the grocery store getting your hair done and you've only got 2 or 3 sentences to invite someone to a class. Who wants to come up and do that? In the middle here. Yay, come on up, right? See, that's what we want to see. We want to see you excited to invite people to doTERRA. All right, what's your name?
My name is Stacy Scott. I'm brand new, so
Yay! See, great. Yay. So here's what's cool, Stacy. All right. So here's what happens in doTERRA. We get excited when we start doTERRA. And then we learn a whole bunch of stuff, and we get so worried about all the other stuff that we forget to just be excited and share doTERRA. So I can't wait to see what you say. Invite me to a class.
okay.
This is nerve-wracking. Don't worry. I think you're with me too. I hear you under the bus. Why don't you get this bottle of oil so it'll all be okay?
Great, right?
You can.
Hi, Lisa. My name is Stacy. How are you?
Hi, Stacy. Nice to meet you.
It's great to meet you too. Hey, guess what I got going on?
What do you have going on?
I'm into this natural solutions things to help people live naturally and better every single day of their lives. Are you interested? Can I help you live better with natural solutions?
Nice job.
Great.
That is beautiful. All right, so do you see what she did? That's a positive way to lead into, yes, who would say no to that, right?
Right.
Beautiful.
I'm having a wonderful class this Saturday at my house. Would you like? I want you to come because I want you to learn how to live better with natural solutions.
I would love that.
Wonderful. Come on over. I'll see you at 4:30.
Perfect. I'm going to wrap up, but I'm not going to lie. You never know what you're going to get when you invite people up on stage, and I did not plan that with Stacey. Nice job, Stacey. Let's all give her a really big round of applause. That is super nerve-wracking for everyone. All right, so what I want you to take away from today is I want you to remember your story and why you want to share it. And I want you to share your story, whether it's a short version or a long version, right? I share essential oils because they changed my life. I'd like to change yours. Do you want to hear more about it? Or my 60 to 90 second version in a class. I want you to feel comfortable to share that story and invite every single person that you run into moving forward. Not just today. I was going to say today, but why stop today, right? Don't deny anyone else the opportunity to change their life. I want you to envision that every person you're talking to could be me. Doesn't have to be me, right? Could be anybody. You're going to hear a lot of stories today of lives changed. Hope you can stay tonight and hear my friend Jen Yates' story and how it saved her life as well. Envision these stories so that when someone's in front of you and they appear skeptical or they're making that resting you-know-what face, that you keep going and you do it anyway. We can't change people's lives, and we cannot get these oils in every home, and we cannot save them if we don't keep going anyway. Thank you.